So we're going to go ahead and have Ryan lead us into our discussion that's going to help really frame what we've heard today, where we're going. So let me go ahead and have Ryan talk to us about where we're at.
Okay, thank you. All right, usually I don't need a mic, so I'm going to assume that you guys can hear me without this. Is that fair? You good?
We're recording.
Need the mic?
We're recording video.
Okay, so go with the mic then. All right, very good. Awesome. And I hope it's okay to do the mic from down here. Can you still see me? Okay, great. So get off stage. I got 2 cats. And as of 2 days ago, apparently a wild raccoon who comes through the cat door, and this has happened to us because we live way, way, way in central Austin, but apparently the raccoon infestation has found us again. So I texted my wife this morning. You know how smart these animals are, right? It's probably got a key by now. Changing all the passwords. But yeah, 2 cats, a raccoon, my wife and myself, and a couple of kids. And my wife and I share something in common. It's really deep inside both of us. I think somehow we intuitively recognized it in each other before we got married. We both have lymphoma, or both had lymphoma, or have had struggles with lymphoma. And she was my navigator when I went through my lymphoma struggle. And she did an amazing job, just ridiculously good, through a very complex system, as we've mentioned many times today. I didn't have insurance. I was a graduate student. I was bulletproof. I didn't need insurance back when I got lymphoma. Now she's got it. Luckily, we have insurance. What else luckily we have, or at least I have, because now I'm her navigator, is about 65 experts. So I have your email addresses. I'm going to get your phone numbers. And this is going to be my wife's care team, so thank you for helping us with that. We want to talk about, I'd like to keep talking about my cats and my family and my wife, but we probably should do some work here as well. And what we want to do is talk about what initiatives already up on screen we should pursue in 2019. You'll notice an adjective in front of those initiatives. Thank you. Yes, concrete. We really want to emphasize on the concrete, not the abstract, ethereal, academic. We really want to focus on the concrete, something that is actionable. And how we're going to do this, since all of us are way smarter than any one of us, we're just going to tap the wisdom of the group. And so what we're going to ask is, and I'll explain this in more details in just a moment, we're going to ask the groups to talk, table groups, talk, think about this, write some things down on sticky notes. That's why the sticky notes are there. So some of you are enjoying those for taking your own notes. We'll bring you some more if you need them. They're fun to write on. We'll have each table group talk about various ideas, but then each table group's going to pick one. Just one possible initiative that they suggest that the steering group committee considers for a 2019 piece of work. And we'll see what the various table groups come up with. We'll take those sticky notes, we'll throw them up on a wall, we'll step back and say, what do we see? Are there patterns? Are there, there's some creative idea that we hadn't thought of? But we'll make a decision not in the room, but again, the steering committee will make a decision outside the room. Make sense? Okay, good. While we're talking about the steering committee, could we recognize the amazing work they've done by having them stand up and give them a hand? So if you're on the steering committee, please stand up one more time. Stay standing, stay standing. Stay standing. Okay, wonderful. Keep standing though, because I want to make sure, because that alternative motive, I want to make sure we have a steering committee member at each table. And we need one here. Steering committee member. We need one in the back. And do we have one here? Yes. Right? Okay, good. All right, now you can sit down. But the applause was real. Yeah, they've done an amazing job. So here's how we're going to do this. Let me explain this and just give me 3 minutes. And I'm going to go grade school level teacher, and I know this is, everybody in the room has been out of school for a long, long time, and you're all really intelligent. And that's what makes this difficult, because I'm going to explain it in the simplest possible terms. What you're going to do is have about a 20-minute conversation at your table, which is plenty of time to do this. You're going to answer that question, and the steering committee member is going to take sticky notes. We didn't give you a ton of them intentionally. And they're going to record 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 answers to this question as you guys talk. And you can talk and debate at the same time. And the hardest part about this exercise is simply going to be finding space at your table to lay out the sticky notes. They're sticky, so you can use the walls if you're blessed with one close by. Folks in the middle, you'll probably want to clear a little table space. But steering committee members, you're going to get a chance to debate this outside the room. So while you're in the room at the table, you're just facilitating conversation, okay? And your primary job at the table is actually that of a scribe. So if you would take the Sharpie, not a pen that you brought with you, but the Sharpie, I know we're at grade school level, and print very, very clearly so we can see it from across the room when it's hanging on a wall, the idea that is being suggested as the answer to this question. And if you end up at your table group with 7 ideas, you'll have 7 separate sticky notes. And just want to emphasize again the obvious. They're sticky on the back, and we're using them landscape, not portrait. Make sense? And then we're going to stick them up on the wall, and we're going to be able to see. Now, just one more time. You're going to talk. You're going to outline multiple ideas, and then you're going to choose how many? 1. So each table is going to push forward their favorite idea. As you're doing this, keep in mind the work of the round table now. We have group working on evidence metrics, right? We heard all about that today. We have a group working on training. We heard all about that today. We have a group working on policy. That work's still moving forward, and we even heard about some of the stuff they're planning on doing. This would be additive in addition to. So think of all those great conversations you've been part of today, and what ideas did they trigger? Question. Please.
Are we worried, do we think outside the bounds of what resources or costs with streaming? Or are we being super feasible in everything?
Well, you know, that's a really good question, and like a good consultant or facilitator, I'm going to kick it to our Tracy and Andy. Thoughts on, do we go ideal or do we go real?
Well, I mean, I was thinking about what my remarks were going to be when he passed the microphone before you asked your question, and the first thing that came to my mind was be bold, right? We are at a point, we've all said it all day long, we're at a point where we have an opportunity before us that is not going to last forever. So I think we have to be bold, but at the same time, we have to also be sort of concrete about how we take steps forward to be bold. The truth is, we have a room filled with leaders across the country who have capacity, authority, and influence to be bold. So I say be bold, but try to be as specific as possible.
Anything different that you would say, Andy? Ditto. Okay, so we're going to work like Romans. We're going to be bold, but we're going to work in concrete. All right. Great question, though. Other questions, concerns, challenges, jokes, poems, hostilities, anything before we get started? We good? Okay, one more time. Andy, Tracy, anything you would add in context to this before we get started? All right. So feel free to discuss away. If you need supplies, let us know. And I'll check in with you in about 15 minutes just to see how you're doing. Have at it. Okay. All right, so here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Would you all please stand up? And one person from your table should grab the sticky note too. Everybody stand up if you would. We're going to get a moment of bright light in here. So avert your eyes if it's too bright. And if you would all come on over this way, this is the front of the room for the next few minutes. Come on over. So we can all see this. Yeah, I just wanted to show you Washington. The St. Regis, there's a bar next door. No, come on over. Come close, don't worry, seriously, come on right up. Front row tickets. Now that you're all real close, I'm just gonna put this down. All right, so, what's that? Oh, that's right, they're recording me, I keep forgetting. All right. Group number one, oh, that was our alarm. Group number one, what is this about? Give it to us in a sentence.
Concerned that we've reached a point where there are so many groups working on similar initiatives, some relatively new to the game, that there be alignment of efforts so we don't go back to a former era of different groups competing with each other, and that once that alignment takes place, to improve our communications, to disseminate information out broadly.
Can everybody hear that? Okay, good. Another group, come on down. What do we got?
So we said we wanted to have, okay, a navigation summit with various tracks that would be like free or low cost, so to differentiate what's already out, you know, what happens now. And our tracks that we just thought of at the table was like for volunteer navigators, for non-clinical, for clinical, for administrators, and something really focused on technology.
Thank you. And obviously, those two are different, so we'll keep them apart. But if a group comes up and you see that your idea looks almost exactly like some other idea, we're going to stick them very close together, one on top of the other. So what did you guys come up with?
Well, we'll stick it right there.
Sweet.
So the year of communication, internal and external. So not starting new, do what we've started and do it well. So more internal communication between the different task groups, so that there's really not a feeling of we don't really know on different workforce committees what's going on other groups. But then also external communication as well. So again, kind of similar, letting people know what we're doing again, so there's alignment.
Excellent. Thank you. Dr. Partridge?
We focus completely on navigation in the cancer patients, so our group wondered if we could learn some more about navigation by looking at other diseases that use navigation or other health systems that actually have navigation outside of cancer.
Excellent. Thank you. What do we got?
All right, so ours probably goes like maybe this. So we talked a lot also about connecting and addressing navigation and care coordination, what all the other systems are doing, what is being done in healthcare systems, in public health systems, sort of the navigate all the navigators and care coordinators.
Excellent. Meta-navigation. All right. Please.
So we talked a lot about sharing tools and resources and disseminating information, and we settled on a very concrete task, which is to build a specific tool and share it to help educate state and federal legislatures regarding the value of patient navigation.
Thank you. Thank you. Who's next?
Excuse me.
So I happen to be the lucky person that's not part of this group. I'm a marketing, I'm in the marketing field. And so we said a public awareness campaign around patient navigation, just to raise the awareness publicly about what patient navigation is, and letting people know either indirectly, in advance before they actually need it, that patient navigation exists and what it means and how it can be helpful. And then we also talked about partnering with doctors' offices so that way we can start to put information in doctors' offices so that way people can get the information they need, and then as they need it, they have a resource.
Now, you're not in navigation, but you didn't just walk in off the street, so why don't you she was just walking off. Anyone who delegates this responsibility, now tell us who you are and what you do.
So my name is Erin Dumas, and I am with Ghost Note Agency. I am the digital marketing manager there, but I am actually filling in for a colleague, and we actually developed the website, the NNRT website.
Thank you. Who's next?
I thought maybe she did walk in from the street because I didn't see a badge on her. So I was a little bit concerned about that. I was like, oh my God, maybe she did. So our table discussed the benefit of doing a survey of OCMs and also potentially accredited cancer centers by the COC regarding their navigation program. How do they implement it? How are they implementing other measures? And is navigation involved with any of those? And what are their desires for the future regarding navigation?
Excellent. Thank you. Please.
We had a hard time coming up with the one, but settled on a navigation code of ethics. We thought this might be a nice companion to the work going on around job descriptions, skills, and so on, and thought it would be a straightforward activity to accomplish through the roundtable. Elizabeth, do you want to add anything else? Nope, okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Who haven't we heard from that's holding a sticky note? Okay, now we will, don't leave yet, but we will collect the other sticky notes. So if you were sitting there going, oh, we had a second one we really love, we're gonna take a look at everything that was written. So before you leave, we'll grab those. But any reflections on what you see up here? Anything. Could be one that jumped out at you that wasn't from your table that you love. It could be a trend that you're seeing here. It could be a reflection on what's missing.
As a non-navigation person, I'd say it's one of the unifying themes is just sort of wrapping your arms around what's happening out there.
Excellent. Yeah, big theme of not creating something new, right? But let's wrap our arms around what's out there. Let's information gathering and communication. What else? Other themes, other reflections.
Thanks. Yeah, we debated and we wanted to put up things that we thought other people wouldn't. And so I think the other conversation that's been around all day is reimbursement and ROI. And that ended up, maybe a lot of us said, somebody else is going to put that up. So I know you're going to collect them all. Yeah, we got, right? So we probably all have those. So I just want to make sure that in some way you guys will consider that.
Excellent, and I see it right here, but we hear that as well, so thank you for pointing that out. You guys were doing the game theory thing. Let's figure out what they're going to put. And very, very strategic. No, I like it. Any other reflections? Anything at all? Okay, I'll invite you to sit back down.